What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2023 Mazda CX-5. This is a Signature Turbo all-wheel drive, finished off in machine gray metallic. MSRP is at $41,500. So we're going to take a look at this crossover, see if it's worth the price, and see everything that this has to offer. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Mazda CX-5, you're going to find the Skyactiv G 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged motor. It pumps out 256 horsepower with 320 pound-feet of torque, sending all the power through a 6-speed automatic transmission to all 4 wheels through the iActive all-wheel drive system. Curb weight is around 3,800 pounds. It can even tow 2,000 pounds. And running on a 15.3 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 22 miles per gallon in the city with 27 out on the highway. Overall length is 180.1 inches with wheelbase at 106.2. Width is 72.6 and height is 65.6 inches, and then ground clearance is 7.9 inches. Moving on to the exterior styling with the CX-5, you're going to see a pretty nice set of LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. They cut towards the grille, and you can see a pretty cool chrome trim piece running underneath the entire grille. I like how there's some three-dimensional look to it. You can see how the front bumper overhangs a little bit. We get a massive Mazda logo, which is also a safety sensor, and then gloss black trim for all this mesh design. The lower grille has a pretty large opening to allow a ton of cooling to one of the radiators, and you can see some gloss black trim down below and more of the gray body color. We got all of your parking sensors up in front as well, and some pretty smooth body lines all around. There's also sharp body lines going towards the side mirrors along the hood, and a very flat section right in the center. As we make our way to the side profile, you get some nice rounded body lines, and then a body color trim piece surrounding the entire wheel. You can also see a nice body line around that, and then a set of 19-inch wheels finished off in aluminum. You can also see some sharp lines in the lower portion of the doors along with the side skirts, and then we get a set of body color door handles with body color mirror caps that feature an LED integrated turn signal and side view camera. There's a small chrome trim piece on the lower portion of the windows, and then all gloss black trim surrounding them. You can also see the sunroof up on top with a shark fin antenna, and then taking a look at the entire side profile, the CX-5 has a pretty good proportion. It's more of their mid-size crossover. You got a pretty clean body line going from that headlight, fading towards the middle of the doors, and then picking back up above the rear wheel. And then in back, we get the integrated third brake light up above with this spoiler that's all integrated above the glass. We get a set of LED taillights that have a pretty nice design where they raised above the bodywork just a little bit, finished all in red. Then you can see down below the bumper, we get one of the reflectors, a little bit of plastic black in the lower portion of the diffuser, dual exhaust, along with all of your parking sensors, a sharp body line underneath the license plate. We get your badging on the left with CX-5 Signature Turbo and the Skyactiv Turbo logo. You can see the Mazda logo right in the center, and overall the design comes together nicely. It's not too crazy wild, however it fits very well. Taking a look at the key fob, we have your Mazda logo on one side with nothing on the back, and then all of your actual buttons are on the side of the key fob. If I go ahead and lock the vehicle, I can leave the key in my pocket, just grabbing the door handle and pressing that button, it'll unlock and we can check out this interior. This particular spec has the Coutura brown Napa leather interior, so it's a really dark brown color, almost looking black. You can see a combination of black above and then the brown down below along the door panel. We get the smooth black leather with this cool wood grain trim, silver color on the release handle, and then all of your window and mirror controls with lock and unlock. Nice grab handle with padding for your armrests, and then quite a lot of storage down below and a Bose audio system. We get all the power controls on the left side of your seat with memory seating, and then you can see the smooth leather along with perforated leather all throughout the center. Makes its way up the backrest with a little bit of stitching on the sides, has a pretty good look and a really nice feel with the genuine leather. And then we get this 3-spoke steering wheel with silver trim. And then now inside the CX-5, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, you can see the analog speedometer in the center, along with your tach on the far left side, and then engine temperature and fuel to the right. You can also notice how the center portion is all a digital screen as well. And then we have your Mazda badge in the center of the steering wheel, Cruise control settings are on the right with your distance pacing and lane keeping assist. Then we get Bluetooth and audio controls on the left side. There are steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, all of your windshield wiper controls on the right with turn signals and headlights to the left. And then on the left of the steering wheel, we can see the lane intervention on and off, parking sensors, liftgate, along with a shortcut for your cameras. We get one of the air vents and some cool leather material across the dashboard. This does have a heads-up display system, and then more of this smooth leather vinyl material all along the dash with nice stitching. You can see more air vents with that wood trim connecting them, 2 air vents right in the center. And then moving to the infotainment screen. Now this is not touchscreen. You operate it using the control panel down below. So we get a rotary dial that you can also press. You can bump it left, right, up, and down. And then we get a few different shortcuts all around it. So tapping the home icon gets you to this screen. If I scroll all the way down into settings, you're able to view quite a few different things. You can adjust safety settings, vehicle settings, and all sorts of things like that. Going back to home, if I scroll up now into information, you see a few things within the car. Then I can just hit the back button as well. We have entertainment for all your audio, communication, and then a full screen navigation. So not too many features all in here. And if I go ahead and put us into reverse, you can see the backup camera popping up along with a top-down view. And then if I go ahead and put it into drive, you're gonna see that switch to a front view camera. And then going back into park, it's all gonna shut off. Underneath the screen, you can see those air vents, your start button. We get the heated steering wheel button on the far left side, and then all of your climate controls down below. We do get heated and ventilated seating, dual zone temperature that you can sync, fan speed in the center, then a wireless phone charging pad right in the center with a little bit more storage space. You can see some smooth black leather all around the shifter, all of your different gears, and then a drive mode select. You can bump this up and down. You can see our normal mode. We also get a sport mode and then an off-road mode with a cool depiction for each different drive mode. Behind that, you can see the electronic park and brake and brake hold, and then your volume on-off is on this far right side. We get 2 cup holders in the center, more of this leather and stitching, and then opening up the glove box, we get a little bit of space in here with a tray, along with a few different plugs, and then moving over to the glove box now, has a pretty good amount of space as you would expect. One last look at the interior. I think Mazda does a good job just making them simple and nice. It's certainly a nice place to be. Nothing too crazy with bells and whistles. However, it kind of gives you everything you would expect on a normal car. We also get a black headliner with your sunshade for that sunroof. Glass controls up above that. And you can also see we get a sunglass holder. Then we have your mirror with garage door buttons underneath. And then moving to the rear seat space, if I grab the door handle and open it up, the door panel is finished off just like we saw up front with that little touch of brown and wood trim. And then in back, the seats have the same material and same color. You get perforated leather all throughout the centers. And the center seat, I really like how you get your armrest with 2 cup holders. Heated seat buttons are also in here, and you can even open this up for extra storage. And if I go ahead and fold this up, this can seat 3 people back here, but you can also grab this leather strap, unlatch the seat, and it'll now fold downward. So really cool to have that type of access into the cargo area for longer items. And then pulling that back up, we also get air vents down below with cargo on the backs of these front seats. From here, you can grab the handles next to the headrest, and these will fold forwards to give you better access to the cargo area. So then sitting now in the back of the CX5, so I'm 5'11" sitting here. I've got a couple inches of headroom, it's actually pretty roomy. And with the driver's seat about at my height, I have just enough knee room and foot room. Armrest is in a good place, and the seats are reclined just enough. And I really like that center armrest. That's really cool design. I will say there's not too much lumbar support back here, so a little challenging to get nice and comfortable. The bottom of the seats are pretty flat feeling. You do get your LED dome lights up above, and then grab handles and hooks. And there's quite a lot of glass all around to make it feel pretty roomy back here. And then moving on to the cargo area, I can just hold down the button on the key fob. Power liftgate is going to automatically pop open, and we can take a look at the storage space. You got quite a lot of storage space back here with the second row up, and I can even grab this handle, and we have a full spare tire in here with your Bose sub. It does have some small cutouts on the far right side, and then there's even a grab handle right here that you can pull to get these seats out of the way. That's a super convenient feature, and you're gonna notice we have 2 different levers on this side. So we have one for the middle, and then this one for the side. And you can also see how nice everything looks when everything is folded down flat. It really does make this pretty useful. We have our button up above that to automatically close the liftgate, and then taking another look through the side, Everything is folded down flat, and it really makes for this to be a practical small size crossover. All right guys, so we are setting off now in the CX5. I gotta say, that is a healthy motor. It packs a lot of torque. It really does get up to speed super nicely. That's something super impressive. Most cars like this, I mean, heck, a Nissan Rogue is gonna have a 3-cylinder motor. This 2.5 liter 4-cylinder is a big 4-cylinder, and it just has power. So that is super cool to see. Sport mode, transmission just basically sharpens up a little bit. But this car genuinely gets up to speed. I think that might be the biggest selling factor with the CX-5 Turbo. If you're looking for a nice normal crossover that actually has power, this is a way to go. As far as some normal ride quality things, pretty good visibility at the windshield. You got a really huge windshield. Mirrors do a good job. This mirror is really close to me, I notice. Makes it sure it's really nice to easily see out. Visibility over your left and right shoulder. I mean, pretty normal as you would expect. And this vehicle seems pretty solid, like taking quicker turns, no real crazy body roll or anything. It does feel like a very solid, nicely built vehicle. So I think Mazda does a good job at least just building something nice. It's nice to drive, very useful. The materials you touch are pretty good as well. Suspension is nice and comfortable. You don't feel crazy body roll or anything like that. It just feels like a solid, well put together car. Only downfalls I'm finding, I'm not the biggest fan of these seats. While I really love the Nappa leather, they feel nice, they are extremely flat on the base and the back. They don't really have much contours for your body, so you don't really feel like you're sitting into the seat at all. You just kind of feel like you're sitting on top, and I can't get this upper portion up high enough to where the seat is just so flat. So I wouldn't mind a little bit more sculpture to the seat to fit the human body a little better than just kind of like a lawn chair. That's my only gripe, I'd say, with normal ride quality and driving things. Use of materials and interior buttons and everything, it's so simple to use this. I wish this was touchscreen. I mean, they have the resources to do that, and it's not that far of a reach to where it's pretty doable. This gets a little confusing which way up and which way down is. I'm just used to other cars almost having like a round design to make it easier to scroll up and down. That's nitpicky, of course, but I'm sure once you get used to it, it's not too hard to go through everything. The screen is pretty basic, so I wouldn't mind just more stuff in it. However, it seems like this is just a car, if you want a nice piece of transportation, this is what the CX-5 is going to give you. It is good for point A to point B. It's got the tech, it has everything you need, and nothing fancy like physical buttons instead of like touchscreen buttons trying to be fancy. This is a very simple, user-friendly, easy to drive vehicle, and it shows. You know, it's simple to use, but it gives you a nice use of material all around. You don't normally see all this on a car like this. So I think Mazda did a good job kind of making it stand out, however, also toning down the crazy technology to be simple. And it shows with the ride quality. It's a solid vehicle, and the power plant to me is super impressive to where this actually gets up and goes and feels like a pretty nice normal vehicle to drive. So in spinning around to my perspective and honest thoughts about this CX-5, I would say this kind of feels like a very generic crossover. Not to say that in a bad way. The styling, I don't think this color does it really any favors. It just looks a little normal, mainstream. It has a cool look to it with some styling cues, but it's nothing really that wows you as far as the way it looks. It looks like a crossover, it really does. Interior, there is a little bit extra wow factor given like you have this vinyl leather material all over the dash and the doors. It just makes it feel a little bit cooler than your typical crossover that's just gonna have plastic. And I think the engine is the biggest thing. Back into sport mode. That was 30 to 60. This is quick, especially for a 4-cylinder crossover. That is thoroughly impressive how much power this really has. It's not a fast sports car, but my goodness, when you compare this to kind of your typical crossover, this is a big engine. You know, the Nissan Rogue has a 3-cylinder engine. Ford Escape, I think either has a 3-cylinder or a small 4-cylinder. This has real power. So if you're looking for a crossover that's just point A to point B, normal vehicle, but you want to step on it and actually move, this is impressive. All-wheel drive system, of course, makes it super capable for anything you want to do. And it just feels like a nice place to be without going overboard. You know, a lot of vehicles are trying to throw in crazy technology with huge screens, touch-sensitive buttons, all this fancy stuff that, quite honestly, is all gimmick. It looks cool, but it doesn't really do anything to help you enjoy the car better. It just looks really cool. This is old school with physical buttons here. Like, it's kind of honestly a shock to see normal buttons down here for climate and just a simple interior that's kind of old school. The center screen, you don't really get much configurations to it. It just is what it is, and it just shows a small depiction. So honestly, they didn't even really need to have a screen in the center. I wish this was touchscreen. I think that would definitely help a little bit, and just the seats I think need a little bit better comfort. But if you're looking for just a nice normal car, you're not looking for the newest style, something crazy outlandish, you know, Mazda kind of gives you a good affordable option that has everything you need and nothing more and nothing less. For $41,500, fully loaded vehicle, honestly, this is a pretty affordable car, and Mazda in general, pretty inexpensive. You don't have to get this fully loaded one. You can get something like this mid-30s, which is insanely cheap in today's market. So I think Mazda's still giving you something that doesn't break the bank. In today's world, everything is getting so expensive, and it's nice to see brands like Mazda still kind of keeping it old school with a nice normal vehicle that's going to give you what you want. Overall, it is a really solid vehicle. It doesn't feel cheap whatsoever. No rattles, no loose ends, nothing just feels cheap. It feels like a nice car just without all the modern tech. You know, it's just a simple old school vehicle that kind of feels like a car from 10 years ago, but it's new enough to feel like a nice new car. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.